back to another YouTube or podcast, depending where you're listening to this on. Today's video is going to be 10 realistic fitness-based goals that you can set for yourself this year and how to actually accomplish them. Last year, 2022, was an absolute smashing year for me. I feel as if I ticked off many lifelong goals, including getting the house, getting the home gym, getting married to Ross, competing twice, going pro in Atlantic City WBFF, and of course getting first place, which was an absolute incredible end to the year. And then I went into 2023 thinking like, well, what now? Like, I've literally ticked off so many goals I've had for many years. I actually don't know what to do with myself now. Like, am I done? Can I just stop, chill out, sleep a little bit? But anyway, I thought I would give you 10 kind of realistic goals that I personally am going to be trying to do, and I think that you could also do. And of course, it depends on the individual as to how you're going to set these goals and what level you're going to do them on. And of course, everyone has a different why for starting their fitness journey, and everyone has different goals. So this is just for anyone that's like, oh, I don't know what to do this year. Hopefully this video helps you. And as always, if it does, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Let's get into it. I know that every year many people set out with these grand resolutions, and they really want to either, lose 20 pounds or get a job promotion or build X amount of muscle and fit a certain dress for a special event. And there's all these kind of resolutions that are focused on big end goals. But like I mentioned in my last video, it's so important to set those smaller goals. And the goals that I'm going to be giving you as examples today are goals that aren't based around how you look. It's not going to be weight focused goals. It's going to be habit focused goals. So the first one is going to be to schedule your week in advance, planning exactly when and where you're going to do your workouts. I did speak about this in my last video, but I do think it's a really important one to reiterate. So how do you actually do this and make sure you stick to this? First of all, look at your week ahead, maybe even look at your month ahead. Pick the days that you're going to work out, the time that you're going to work out, and where you're going to work out. If you're someone that really struggles to wake up in the morning and go do a workout by yourself, then maybe you need to schedule in workout classes in which you have a set time and a kind of confirmed location and workout that you're going to do, instead of just saying like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and do whatever. So this might look like booking a cycle class at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning. It might look like going to a boot camp at your local park at 7 a.m. or after work heading to the gym with your partner or a colleague. Setting in these planned times that you're going to work out with an accountability buddy, or a workout class in which you have to go. Some gyms even, or kind of apps, even charge you if you don't turn up to the session or you turn up late to the session. So that could be an added incentive to make sure that you actually go to the workout. Once you've actually planned the workouts that you're going to do in your calendar, make sure that you treat them as if they're a business meeting or a doctor's appointment. And what do I mean by that? Do not cancel on them. There is no flaking out on it. Once you've put it in your calendar, show up for yourself, show up to the gym, the park, wherever it is that you're doing that workout, and get it done. You'll thank yourself later and you'll feel so much better after. Number 2, working on your form. So if you're someone that regularly works out and you go to the gym all the time and you tend to have some niggles, or maybe you can't quite feel the right muscles working when you're performing exercises, perfecting your form can make sure that you're actually maximizing your workouts in order to progress in the gym with strength and of course building muscle. So for me personally, there's certain exercises that I know I could take the weight back on and I could really focus on my form to ensure that I am training in a way that is going to optimize my hypertrophy and to help me build muscle this year. So there's a few ways for you to perfect your form. Maybe this looks like, getting a trainer for a couple of sessions to take you through some of the exercises that you're unsure of. If you're someone that's not necessarily confident on certain equipment in the gym, then getting a trainer to take you through those items could be a really good way to help you build your confidence as well. Another thing you could do, if you're someone that goes to workout classes, don't be afraid to ask the instructor either before class or after class to help you with certain exercises. They are are there to help you. Another thing that is a really good idea is to take that weight back and slow down your tempo before deciding to increase your weight. So for example, if you're smashing out squats and you feel like your form is starting to slack towards the end of the set, maybe you could take back the weight, slow down the movement, and really focus on ensuring that you're engaging your core, you're squeezing your lats down, you're holding the bar in place and performing the movement in an optimal way to not only progress from there, but also to limit your chance of injury. We really want to have a nice, smooth year in 2023, injury free. So really make sure that you're focusing on your form so that you can progress and maximize your progress, so that you're not just going to the gym, going through the motions and not getting the results that you want, or not getting stronger and building muscle. Number 3, this one might not be for everyone, but get a workout buddy. For me personally, I find it fine to go work out in the gym by myself. I actually prefer it as opposed to working out with a workout buddy. But if you are someone that struggles to, get the kind of confidence to go into the gym alone, or you struggle with motivation when it's just you working out by yourself and you don't want to do workout classes, you want to lift weights in the actual gym room, then getting a workout buddy could be a really good idea for you. So how do you find a workout buddy? You could, connect with someone. If you're on the Anjuli Fit Squad, for example, someone on the squad that's in the same area as you. The opportunity for you to do this is through the Instagram Anjuli Fit Squad hashtag, through the members only Facebook group, or of course through our monthly group coaching calls, where I often say, comment where you're from, connect with one another in the chat box on the Zoom call, so that you can find someone locally and go for hikes or go for workouts together. It's super important to, have that support around you when it comes to achieving your goals. Another thing might be, getting your partner to work out with you, or finding a colleague at work that you can go to the gym with straight after work when you finish. This would be a really good way for someone that kind of struggles to go to the gym after work, for you to actually make sure that you've got that accountability buddy to go with you, and then make sure that you're actually holding each other accountable to your goals. Number 4, doing something each week for you. Now this would look different for everyone. For me personally, doing something for myself, it looks like journaling. It looks like, cooking something that I enjoy eating. That might be something, in the weekend that I wouldn't usually cook Monday to Friday because I'm a little bit busier then. So doing something that you enjoy could be yoga. It could be going for a walk with friends, going for a hike, doing something that kind of fills your cup, I guess, that isn't necessarily your usual routine of going to the gym or doing a really high intensity HIIT class. Something that makes you feel calm, coloring in, reading a book, going to the movies with your partner. I think it's really important that at some point in the week we take time to slow down and just enjoy the present moment. And I'm definitely guilty of not doing this. So on prep, something that I like to do for myself is honestly just color in. It's something kind of where I can switch off and just enjoy doing. For you, it might look like, going to a coffee shop and reading a book, or going for a walk around the park with a friend. Find a few things that you could, write down on a list that you can choose from each week to do. And it might only be one thing a week in the weekend that you choose to do, and then commit to doing that each week. I think that would be a really nice idea for you to, give back to yourself after everything that you put into your work, your family, your fitness journey. Number 5, walk instead of driving everywhere. This is not going to be possible for everyone. Ross and I actually live out of town, so it's not possible for us to say walk to the supermarket and things like that. However, I do not use Uber. I will, of course, if I'm driving into the city, then I drive somewhere, I park, and I walk everywhere that I can. When we were in New York, we pretty much didn't subway, we didn't Uber, we walked as much as we could, wherever we could, and I found that was awesome. We actually got 20,000 steps on my birthday, well, over 20,000, which was a little bit too much in peak week, but it is what it is. Ideally, try and park further away from work if you usually drive. Maybe that means you even get cheaper car parking because you walk a little bit from out of the city into the city. Maybe you choose to get off the bus a stop earlier and then walk home. There's lots of different ways that we can increase movement and just, I guess, overall add to the movement that we do across the week. So of course I set step goals for myself as well as the Anjuli Fit Squad, but a general goal could just be to walk more. So it might look like, you know, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. It might look like going for a walk in your lunch break. And whether you choose to set a step goal or not, you can objectively choose to move more across the week. I do think, however, a step goal is a really good way to kind of actually measure that you're moving more across the week. Number 6, drink more water. I am a massive fan of drinking water and staying hydrated. I swear I always have a drink bottle within arm's reach of me everywhere that I go. And the reason for this is because water plays a massive role in every function of the body. It is so important, regardless of your goals, whether you want to lose fat, build muscle, just feel better from the inside out, help your digestion, anything and everything, drink more water. Everything can be solved by this, not really, but I do highly recommend that you make sure you are consuming enough water each day, and the amount of water in which someone needs is going to vary based on many different things such as activity, height, weight, age, goals, the temperature outside, whether you sweat a lot or not. There's so many different things that kind of contribute to how much water you should be drinking. I personally drink 3 to 4 liters of water a day. Other people might only need, 2.5 liters of water per day. How do you make sure that you're drinking enough water per day? Make sure that you carry a water bottle with you everywhere that you go. Keep a glass of water on your desk at work. Maybe it's that you're going to start the day off with a couple of glasses of water before you eat or drink anything else for the day. I like to start the day with my supplement, and then I make sure that I drink water throughout my workout and throughout the day consistently, instead of leaving it to like the end of the day and just trying to drink as much as I can, because that wouldn't be optimal for you either. Yes, the flip side of drinking water is there'll be people that are like, oh, but you can't drink too much water. Yes, there is such thing as drinking too much water, but it would be very hard to do so. And I'm saying that you start off in the morning with your water intake and you space it out across the day, making sure that you're staying hydrated across the day. I'm not saying that you need to go and scull a whole lot of water in one sitting, because that just wouldn't make anyone feel good. Number 7, getting enough sleep per night. If you're a newborn mom, this is just not going to apply to you, and I completely understand from working with squad members that that's just not a happening thing. So do your best. This doesn't necessarily apply to you, but for anyone else, make sure you are getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. It plays a massive role in recovery. It also helps us function properly the next day. It impacts our hunger hormones, including ghrelin and leptin, which are our hunger and satiation hormones. So after a night of poor sleep, you might find that you're more hungry throughout the day, which makes it harder to stick to your nutrition, which just does not optimize your, setup for the day ahead if your goal is something like fat loss, which requires you to adhere to a calorie deficit. Now, when it comes to sleep, how do you actually make sure you get enough sleep? The first thing I would say is to have a regular go to bed time and wake up time every single day, even in the weekends. Maybe in the weekend you might choose to sleep for half an hour or an hour later. That's not the end of the world, but trying to have a set schedule in which you go to bed and wake up at the same time every day will really help you build that good kind of sleep cycle. Also making sure that you have a good wind down routine at night. So this might look like turning screens off at say 7:30 so that you can go to bed at 8:30. Maybe you choose to read or color in or chat with your partner, stretch, foam roll before bed. So nothing using screens. I've said this many times before. Ross and I turn our screens off at 7:15 at night, and we're in bed by 8 because we wake up at 4:30. That's what works for us. That might not be optimal for you. You might choose to turn screens off at 8:30 so you can be in bed by 9:30 or whatever it is. Find times that work best for you and your goals around your family and your partner and things like that, and then stick to it. Other habits to help make sure you're getting enough quality sleep are to not have any caffeine after a certain time in the day. This is going to vary based on when you go to sleep. I personally don't have caffeine after midday. It's what works best for me. Usually I don't even have caffeine after like 11 or 11:30 in the morning, just to make sure that I don't have caffeine in my system later on when I'm trying to go to sleep. Another thing that can really help you monitor your sleep is tracking your sleep. So I use my Samsung Watch 5. It tells me when I went to bed or when I woke up, and it gives me a little bit of data about about my sleep throughout the night. Now, I don't stress too much about this, but I do find it really helpful just to kind of see how long I'm sleeping across the night and what times I wake up in the night. And I actually, during my build phase, am really aiming for 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Across Christmas and New Year's, I actually hit, 8+ hours pretty much every single night, which is amazing. And I feel really good I feel like I'm recovering better. I feel like my strength is going up in the gym, but in saying that, I'm also eating more food than I was, pre-Christmas and things. So yeah, I'm feeling very good, and I just cannot stress this enough. Our bodies are not designed to thrive on minimal sleep. We really need to aim for that 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. I've honestly lost track of where I am with my numbers, but the last one I want to touch on is a goal to have the attitude of gratitude. So last year in January, I started this thing where each day I was going to write down on my calendar one thing I was grateful for at the end of the day. So it's a good way to go to sleep, right? You're going to sleep grateful. But at the start of the year, I honestly struggled to think of one different thing every single day that I was grateful for. However, by the end of January, I was struggling to stick to just 3 things I was grateful for. I found that the more I was grateful for, the more I became grateful for, and I really developed this attitude of gratitude. And so if at the end of the day you've got to write down something new that you're grateful for each day, and it can't be the same as the day before, you're actively looking for things throughout the day subconsciously that you're grateful for, and it is just such a good way to live life. So by the end of the year, honestly, I was writing 3+ things every single day that I was grateful for. And now I have this calendar that is filled with all these amazing things that happened last year. And that's flown on to this year. So I wanted to do the same thing, but instead of on my giant calendar, I actually got a monthly planner that I can take with me everywhere I go. So even when I'm traveling, I'll take this book, and at the end of each day, I'll write a minimum of 3 things that I'm grateful for. And this year already, I've started with a minimum, to be honest, of 4 to 5 things every day that I'm grateful for. The additional kind of aspect to this that I personally do is I make sure that it's not the same thing every day. So I can't have the same thing twice. So I couldn't do, for example, I'm grateful for my parents, house, Ross, my health. It has to be something different. And that means that I'm constantly kind of acknowledging things that I'm grateful for each day. It might be, spending time with family at a nephew's birthday party. It might mean that I went strawberry picking with my sister-in-law, which was one of my gratitudes from last January. There's lots of little things that might seem little at the time, but they actually add up over the course of the year to create how, amazing your year was or wasn't. So I think having an attitude of gratitude, and even just writing down one thing every single day that you're grateful for, is a great habit to build, and anyone can do that. You don't have to do it physically. If you want, you could just do it on your notes on your phone and do that every day, and then by the end of the year you'll have 365 things. Or if you start now, or whenever you listen to this video or podcast, if you start, you'll have 300 things that were amazing that happened to you across the year, or things that you were just grateful for. And it could be something like, a call with your parent. It could be a conversation you had with a loved one. It could be that you went to the supermarket and your favorite yogurt was on sale. There's lots of little things that eventually over the course of a year add up, and it's just so cool to be able to look back on those things. That was a lot of talking from me. Again, I love doing these chit chat videos. If you have any questions at all, or any, YouTube or podcast topics or conversations you want me to touch on, feel free to drop it in the comments or send me an Instagram message. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.